websites are dying. Websites are dying, and anyone under 40 doesn't go to websites, right? And we used to use them as a sales mechanism. For every minute someone spends on your website, if you look at your website stats, they're down to like 2 minutes average time on site. Right. Whereas they'll spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on YouTube, doing the research. But I have a question. I have a video on this called how 100K clients decide. And I go through this whole big chart because it's a back and forth decision-making research process. So they go do research on YouTube about their problem. And hopefully if they encounter you, they're doing more research about you, but then they get distracted, watch cat videos, watch food videos. I'm watching, Nick travel around to all these amazing restaurants. And then I go back to my research, right? And we stay in there and we watch it. And that's the amazing power of YouTube. YouTube rewards you if they watch the videos. So then they show you more of their videos. There's no other platform like it.
Welcome to Sales Mavericks and Marketing Rebels, the show where bold business owners, savvy entrepreneurs, and sharp thought leaders push boundaries, challenge conventions, and redefine success in sales and marketing. And now your hosts, Nicholas Loise and Marco Salinas.
Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Sales Mavericks and Marketing Rebels. I am with the one, the only Ian Garlic. He is the go-to guy for all things video, all things YouTube, and creating your video case studies. We're going to go deep on what's happening today in YouTube and all the important things that really you should be doing as a business owner, as a marketer, as a salesperson to maximize your return on investment on YouTube. We tell all of our clients to get on YouTube as fast and furious as possible. It is one of the best source of lead generations. But before I get to Ian, I'm going to pay some bills. Folks, this week's edition, as every week's edition, is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Pina Colada Media. If you want a podcast, if you want to talk about digital marketing, if you want to be in today's day and age, you got to talk to the folks at Pina Colada Media. They make it look good. You just show up, look pretty, not as pretty as Ian, but just look gorgeous, and they do all the hard work. Folks, if you're a business owner, if you're a marketer, if you're a salesperson, think about implementing a podcast tomorrow, today, as soon as possible. It is one of the best sources of lead generation besides YouTube that you could possibly have. Once again, call the folks at Pina Colada Media. All right, Ian, welcome.
Now I want a pina colada.
Don't you? I mean, what a great name. I mean, it is just a wonderful thing. You're in Florida, so like that probably comes out of the tap, I'm assuming.
I actually had it on tap at one point. So.
Did you really? In your studio, in your gaming studio?
And by the pool, I have tap, so I have soda water on there usually, but then once in a while I put cocktails on tap, and I've had pina coladas on tap.
All right. Well, how cool is that? Hey, have you been always in the YouTube space? You're a marketer by trade, but how long? What's been your evolution, and how did you get to just focus on YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, since Google bought YouTube, yes. Okay. So that was 17 years ago, 18 years ago.
Which everybody thought was the craziest purchase in the world, and they'd never get a return on investment on it.
Oh my God. I was in marketing. I was a sales consultant, right? I was sales and consulting. And I've been in sales for a long time. And I mean, we all are, right? But I was selling marketing services to attorneys in New York City at the time when people still didn't understand that, I had to sell the internet. I was just talking about this. I had to sell the internet to these guys. Like, I literally had someone go to me, the internet, is that thing still around? So now YouTube comes out, and I was like, this is going to change everything, because I can deliver stories to people when they need them the most, because Google's not going to let this fail. And it's going to be attached to search results. And so when you're looking up how can I increase the sales for my digital agency, and then there's a story of Nick's prowess telling about how he transformed his agency. I knew that would change everything because it differentiates yourself. So, I mean, like 17 years ago, I did it, but I still had to sell other things to people. I was just talking about this. Like, I still had to sell websites because people didn't get that at that time. So, we've been doing it since then and progressed into video case story because really we rebranded eventually to it about 6 years ago, that because the stories are what work the best on YouTube and also transform your sales and marketing. And I start using YouTube and video in my sales right away. And it, because I was, like I said, I was selling internet, I was selling SEO. No one knew what SEO was.
Sure.
And to attorneys in New York City. So they didn't have time for me, and they definitely were not progressive.
Okay. So, got that. And, obviously, I say to my clients and the people that we work with, you got to be on YouTube. And keep me honest on this. The old days, it used to be a book buyer, right? Every entrepreneur, every professional service person should write a book. And I still think they should. I think that's a very good source of lead generation. Plus, you maximize the Amazon search engine. But I think today's buyer spends more time with YouTube and searching out solutions on YouTube than maybe other stations or other vehicles, right? We're streaming Netflix and stream, where we watch, we're a video consumption society in the United States. Reading is going down, right? It depends on what stat you look at. The average person just doesn't read. So, what is that a fair statement of what I said? And what else can you, what else could you put on that to kind of just maximize it?
I mean, websites are dying. Websites are dying, and anyone under 40 doesn't go to websites, right? And we used to use them as a sales mechanism. For every minute someone spends on your website, if you look at your website stats, they're down to like 2 minutes average time on site. Right. Whereas they'll spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on YouTube, doing the research. But I have a question. I have a video on this called how 100K clients decide. And I go through this whole big chart because it's a back and forth decision-making research process. So they go do research on YouTube about their problem. And hopefully if they encounter you, they're doing more research about you, but then they get distracted, watch cat videos, watch food videos. I'm watching, Nick travel around to all these amazing restaurants. And then I go back to my research, right? And we stay in there and we watch it. And that's the amazing power of YouTube. YouTube rewards you if they watch the videos. So then they show you more of their videos. There's no other platform like it.
Okay. So I'm a business owner, and I've just heard Nick and Ian, and you've convinced me to create a YouTube station or a YouTube presence. What's my first step? What do I do? What's my first steps?
Well, I have a planner.
All right. Love it.
If you don't mind me sharing my screen, I'll show you exactly. And this is a process that I've developed over this whole time. I didn't make this last year, right? And it's constant evolution, and it'll help you. Let me see if I can share.
You hit the present on the bottom.
Yeah, let me see here. Can I present just because my desktop is a mess? Oh, there we go. Window. So if you want this planner, is it sharing? Are you seeing it? There we go.
I am now. Yeah.
If you want this planner, just hit me up on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I will give it to you. You don't have to opt in. I'll just message it over to you.
Okay.
We do usually charge for it, but because this is the planner. It's what I tell people always is, for number one, in Q1, you collect your stories and you get case stories on there. Why? Because it overcomes all the beliefs in the sales process. This, Nick, it's like the best salespeople sell with story. That's it. I learned that early on in my career. I saw the best salesperson. All I did was collect stories. And this allows you to have them in one place, optimize them for the problems that people have, and optimize them for your online reputation. Plus, it makes it easy for you to send it to someone in the sales process. So you collect your stories, then you analyze those stories, you find out your hooks and your angles and the problems that they have. And you really realize what's different about you as a business and your positioning, right? And then you get hooks that grab people's attention. Direct response marketers, you know that. But I mean, salespeople should be using hooks in their emails. They shouldn't just be like following up. You're like, oh my God, you got to look at this client. You get those hooks, you use them throughout your sales process. Now install those videos into your sales process and then build out your core 4 videos. And in Q2, I would suggest build out your core 4 videos. We can get this, I'd get this done in a day. You can get this over the course of a quarter, doing it yourself. Your case stories. So you can do your own case stories. Nick, I'm sure you should be telling stories of all the amazing things that you've done. I love hearing those stories. Your About Us videos. It's the second most used page on the website. People want to know you, but it's still about them. So you weave those case stories into there. Your process video, how you work with people, weave those case stories into there, and your FAQs. Now from there, you can do things like you can optimize them, run YouTube ads. That's why we suggest in Q3, install them into your sales system. I know you're a big proponent of that. And really install them and really use them and set up things like retargeting and what I call the fish in the barrel. There's about 12 different places you should be using this throughout your internet presence. And optimize it, because as a salesperson, the first thing someone's going to do is Google your name, have that YouTube video showing up. And then in Q4, start doing things like you said, podcast, getting on people's podcasts, other people's podcasts. But the basics of it is stories, your stories, sales system, and install it in there. And then there's all this other stuff you can do. But I have clients, I literally am just signed a contract with a client for new videos that we did these same process 8 years ago. And he's been landing 100K clients since.
So it's got some staying power is what you're telling me.
Just a little.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. So then from there, what else? What else do you what else? So they're going to follow this planner, they're going to get the stuff done. What else do you recommend?
I mean, now that you know their stories and you really identify those big clients that you want, know the story of that big client. And this is sales 101. Understand their real problem. When someone comes to you, right? When someone comes to Nick, they don't want a salesperson. They don't want sales training. They don't want sales expertise. They want the results of it. They want bigger clients. They want higher profit margins. They want to stand out in their market and get bigger deals and understand the real problems behind that haven't got there. And that's where you listen to those case stories. Because your clients will tell you, you don't have to go into a back room. Listen to those case stories and go, okay. I mean, Nick, here, let's just use an example here. Give me one of your biggest success stories.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we a lot of times we work with clients and they are just kind of running all over the place. And, they're running and gunning as founders. And then from there, they're looking for, really trying to get some organization with their sales team, some orderly, some SOP, some process. So when they bring on new salespeople, they have the ability to know that they're going to be onboarded successfully. So we do that, right? And so for one client, we brought us on. We obviously doubled over the course of time, not on day 2, but over the course of time, we doubled their income, as well as doubled and now working on tripling their return on advertising spend. So their ROAS is one of the phraseologies that we do. And so that's a brand new client, somebody that we worked with, right? We had to kind of change out the team a little bit, work with them and their setters, and really focus on getting them where they need to go. And a lot of times founders know that they need to spend some time with their sales team, but they just don't. So we're here to help them do that. And we're here to really kind of make it work.
So with that client, what was the first thing that you did that they're like, oh, I can see this is going to work? Not the doubling, right?
Yeah.
What was the first problem that you had to solve with them?
Well, first thing is how you sell as the founder might be different as a salesperson. So we have to kind of go through what's the sales process. If there's setters involved, what's the setting process? And we need to work on that with them.
Nice. Yeah. And so there you go. I mean, that piece of content that, you know, identifying your founder-led sales and how it's going to be different, right? There's like 5 or 6 pieces of content in there that you can create that speak to a founder-led sales person. Like you're getting ready to why you have to know that it's going to be different, how it's going to be different than your salesperson.
Yeah.
I've To be honest, I've never seen any great content on that. And that's something I would watch. And I know probably 100 different people would watch. So, and because then you, just the way you did it, right? You led it with a story. It's like we doubled their sales, but the first thing I had to do was this. And now you've got a great YouTube video and you start to make those types of things and install it in your sales process. This is, people always ask me like, how do I get more views on my YouTube videos? I'm like, send them the YouTube videos, because you send them one and they're like, this is great. They check out a case story. They check out your about us. And they're like, I want to work with Nick. Now they look at your process like, oh, but I have a few questions. They look at your FAQs. They call you up and go, Nick, I'm ready to work with you. They've spent an hour and a half, 2 hours listening to you, maybe 3 hours, and they're ready to work with you. And this happens. It seems simple, but it does happen.
Okay. All right. So I'm camera shy, right? Me, not Nick, but just in general, I'm camera shy. What should I do then?
So that's a really, really good question. So the number one hack is just use case stories, right?
Okay.
Just have your clients talking about you, but you still want them to see your face and hear your voice. Here's the shift that I think it was a sales shift for me too. You come at it not like I'm going to sell something. You don't come at it like I'm going to talk to 1 million people. There's one person out there that if you're really good at what you do, that you could transform their life. What would you tell them? And would you be willing to get on camera for it? If you think that way, just I'm going to serve this person, it helps you to get through it. And you'll just get better and better. And let me tell you, this happens with a lot of my clients. And I've seen this so many times over the years where like, I hate being on camera. I don't want to do this, but I know I need to. And the second they get that call and they're like, oh yeah, this person came in, thought I was their best friend and just gave me a ton of money and they're the best client ever. And they're like, hey, let's do more of this. So yeah, that's the best way to get results. And you're like, oh, I like this.
Walk me through then. Okay. Keep doing it, even if it's uncomfortable, right? Nobody wants to be on camera except for those that were in drama club and, that type of thing. So just kind of force yourself to it.
Yep.
What about like shorts and reels, and how long should a video be? And, let's get into the mechanics of it, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, so when it comes to case stories, I say as long as you can get them to watch. We have 30-minute ones we've created that have 15,000 views. And they're not subjects that are exciting, but because they have the view time, the longer the video is, the more YouTube is going to show it to people. Longer the video and the percent of view time. So if you got a 30-minute video that most people watch to 90%, it's going to rank higher. It's going to be shown to more people. That said, right now, YouTube, as of this recording, is still prioritizing shorts because of TikTok, because of everything that's going on. So little short clips do work, those sub 60 seconds. In general, what I have is those sub 60 seconds lead into be just part of a bigger video and test out different hooks. And this is where the hooks come in, because if you have a great hook and then a great story and the right angles in there, you get people to watch.
All right, so hold on that. What's a hook? So if I'm listening and I'm like, I don't know what a hook is, what's a hook?
A hook. So it's the first 5 to 10 seconds, but I think my favorite story about hooks is there's a great documentary on Motown called Hitsville, USA. It's on Showtime, I think. And they talk about, Motown had more hits than everyone else combined, right? And it was all about the hooks. It was the first 5 to 10 seconds. And they spend days, if not weeks, working on, I heard it through the grapevine, bump, 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 bump. I'm not that person. So but the point being, it's that first 5 to 10 seconds that grabs the attention of your perfect viewer. And if you can grab their attention and get them excited about this, that's what this is all about. And then you fulfill on that promise of great content. You can get them to view, you build up trust, and they'll view more of your videos.
Okay. I once had a person helping me with my fledgling YouTube station, and I reach out to you, I know, to get you to help, and we got to connect. But this is just somebody that's in a videographer, and I'm actually helping him on the sales coaching side of his business. And so we were playing around with some stuff, and he was showing me all the things that you need to do to, in essence, boost up the ranking of a video. And I'll tell you, it struck me as extremely arduous. Now, maybe he was doing it incorrectly. So how does one, I got a video, I got to get it up and going. How does one get it to where it needs to be, right? So how does it get viewed? Besides you sending it out.
So, I mean, yes, there's a lot of optimization, but here's the problem in the B2B industry is looking to influencers who are really worried about as many views as possible. But let's step back and go, let's say you wanted to work with the Fortune 500, right? And you're like, my target's the Fortune 500 biggest companies, right, in the world. And within there, let's say it's in sales. There's probably what, maybe 10 people you want to talk to. So now we have a total audience of 5,000 people. Now they have completely different wants and needs and problems than someone who's like, I don't know how to sell anything, right? And this is how you do, this is how you build rapport. Those types of videos, if they see those videos, they're going to get turned off by your channel. But that video of how to build rapport or how to close someone in 30 seconds is going to get 20, 30, 40,000 views if you optimize it right, but it's not going to get the right views. So we want to think about the right views. And that's where, coming back to it, the questions, the problems, the $1 million problems that people have. But here's the thing that happens too. If you get those right views, now, if you come back to sending the people there, let's say you have that Fortune 500 client, you send them to your channel. And I say this because one of my clients landed Delta as a client, strictly from the YouTube channel. But the other thing that happens is when you send those people there, you're telling YouTube, if those people watch the videos, that these are the people and these are the situations that I want you to show the videos to. And YouTube will start to show those videos to those people, the same people. And remember that Google has 65 million points of data. Everyone's all freaked out. Like, Google's listening to me. Yeah, there's some of that. There's some of just predictive analytics. There's this massive algorithms. I mean, think about the AI that we get for $20 a month. Now let's think about what AI Google's using. That's the power of it. It's sending the people there, knowing their problems, having their questions. And then if you really want to amplify it and you've got the right content and you know it's working, you can run Google ads for super cheap to those people. And there's a lot to do there. On top of it, doing the shorts in LinkedIn, sending them to your YouTube channel, sending your YouTube video, in prospecting, sending those videos in prospecting. This is the real power of YouTube. And yes, you'll have some people then just start to find you outside of there.
And my guess is that a YouTube link is one that people feel safe on clicking on in a prospecting email.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Right. And on a prospecting email, this is a great hack. Don't send them the YouTube link right away. Just be like, hey, I actually did this in prospecting LinkedIn. And I ended up talking to like the CTO of one of the big Fortune 5 company. And I was way out of my ballpark, but I was just having fun prospecting. But because you go, hey, I've got this story of someone like you, and if you have this problem, I can send you over a YouTube link, and that they say yes. Now it's even you get better deliverability.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So not only, so let's just kind of summarize, right? Because we're coming up on our time. They follow the planner, right? So they hit you up on LinkedIn, and you're going to send them that, and this is kind of their step-by-step play.
Yep.
2 is they got to get content up there. The best content, you're an advocate of it, obviously, is client testimonial, but really case studies, right?
Yep.
So much more deeper versus Nick's a great guy, Ian's a great guy, kumbaya. You need, here was my problem, here was what they did, here is the outcome 3 months later, 3 years later, something of that nature.
Yep.
Then from there, we're going to use those videos in our prospecting, in our outreach, in our funnel, if you will, to really strengthen the bond with the person. But also, it's a lot less onerous to watch a video that I could bounce out of if it's boring versus reading a 15-page white paper on something, right? Nobody wants to do that in today's day and age. So using it in our prospecting, use it in our LinkedIn, use it in our email follow-up. The best ways to get the video watch is to send them out to people, right? It's just that simple. Second best way to do it is, try to figure out how to run ads to specific videos, if you will, with then call to actions to get people into the top of your funnel, right? So call out, is that correct?
Yeah. No,
I see your eyes going that.
Well, I think I would do that. Before I do that, I would get to know my clients' problems and optimize for those questions that they have. Because they all have questions. I cannot tell you how many times I've been through this process with massive companies. And I'm like, I don't see this answer to this question anywhere on your website, but everyone said this is their problem. Like, well, that's not exactly what we do. I'm like, but that's what they think you do. And if you can find those questions that are really long tail searches, you can optimize the YouTube video pretty easily. Because if you have good content with good stories, it's going to rank. There's little technical things you can do, but you don't need a lot of it if you have the right content. So I would do that first and then the ads.
Okay. Anything else? Anything I'm leaving off the table? Start a podcast. And use video in your podcast and put that on your YouTube station. Besides that, what else should they do?
Well, the podcast, here's the thing with the podcast, unless it's just you talking about all the things we just talked about, if it's this podcast, I would honestly put it on a different channel. Link it to your other channel, but that's it. Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else that somebody that has a small business owner just trying to figure out how to get home for dinner, but still get leads coming in the door?
Yeah. If you do this right, you're cloning yourself. That's it. You're cloning yourself, and a 24/7 clone that's better than you of yourself working all the time for you. That's how I want you to think of YouTube.
And how many hours do they need to spend a week, a day, a month on this?
If they do the planner, it's 2 hours a week. And you're not going to get, you can come to us. We can do a strategic shoot day in a day and get 6 months of content done in a day. But if you want to do it yourself, about 2 hours a week.
And, today it's a high of 19 degrees in Chicago. So going to Florida to do a strategic video shoot sounds very, very good. Obviously, I got to pack a bunch of different outfits, right? Because I don't want to have the same shirt in every video. But
I'll take you shopping.
There you go. How do people find you? How do people learn more about you?
If you want to get this planner, Ian Garlic on LinkedIn, I am the only one there. There's 2 Ian Garlics on Facebook. You can connect with me on Facebook. The other one is much older. He's 85 and in London. So but his daughter sometimes tags me in posts for some reason. Or, Ian Garlic on YouTube. Literally the only one. Just type in my name.
And you got a book, right?
I have a book, Video Testimonials That Land the Big Fish. Yeah. It's that whole process of video case stories. Okay. My 1-star review is, this takes work. I'm like, yeah, that's why.
Of course. Everything takes work. Walk me through then all right. So that's how they get a hold of you. You used to, do you have any workshops planned for 2025, or is that still in the work?
I am planning workshops throughout 2025. Yes. And if you get the planner and want to know workshop, you can come do the videos with me as well and do this as well. And hopefully I get Nick down to one and teach people some sales stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great. We had fun the last time we were there.
Yes.
All right, young man. Anything else? Anything else that you want to push, promote? Anything good?
Here's the thing with this. I real quick, when I first started this, I got a client ranking number 2 in Google with her YouTube video for personal injury attorney in New York City. That's one of the most competitive searches there is.
Sure. Yeah.
And we've done that beef since then. Others, I'm not saying that's, but I still think the opportunity for YouTube right now is so huge, and it's closing. But I think the faster you move on this and do it the right way, it will instantly start working for you. And it's not because I do this. I do this because it works, not because it's what I like to sell.
Okay. There you go. You heard it from the man, the legend. All right, folks. Once again, hit him up on LinkedIn, hit him up on YouTube, hit him up on Facebook. Don't hit the old guy, hit him. Great guy, good guy to have in your Rolodex, super caring. And if you want to go to YouTube, go right to him. Folks, if you want to have a podcast, you got to hit up the folks at Pina Colada Media. Not only do you want to have a drink after you hear their name, as Ian had said, but they're just good people to work with. They do everything for you. They do all the good stuff. So once again, check out the folks at Pina Colada Media. They do our podcast. This podcast is sponsored by them. We love talking to you. If you like this video, please share it. Watch the video and share it on YouTube. I will send the links to people as I was just told to. And if you want to have any specific topics, please let us know. Put like and put some comments in wherever you listen to the podcast, wherever you watch your podcast. Ian, you're a gentleman, you're a scholar, and
Thanks,
you are a YouTube genius. It was great to connect with you as always. You have such a wealth of knowledge. I could go on forever, but they tell me I shouldn't go over 30 minutes. But Joe Rogan goes for 4 hours, right? So
Yeah.
I got to have you back on. And you enjoy your time with your bride, your wife, and your baby of 10 years, as we were joking around on Facebook. So you take care. We'll talk soon. And I'm going to hit you up for that planner. Thanks, folks. Thanks for listening to this wonderful edition of Sales Mavericks and Marketing Rebels, the renegade show for all people that want to kind of grow their sales and revenue. My partner in crime, Marco, couldn't make it today. He let me have the controls myself, so hopefully I did him proud. Thank you all, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Sales Mavericks and Marketing Rebels. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Keep pushing the limits in your business. And remember, the Mavericks and Rebels are always ahead of the game. Catch you next time.